Hey tubes, how are you doing today? Well, thank you so much for tuning in today's awesome freaking vlog today. If you're curious on what I'm doing today, I want to talk to you about the upgrades I did to my overhead lighting. Basically, I put dimmable LEDs and a brand new driver is also dimmable as well. But what I'm kind of working on in a little bit in the future is making a dimmable something for it I can dim the lights down. All I basically need to go down to my local Lowe's is buy a dimmable switch. But you gotta make sure it's compatible with your LEDs and also the driver as well. But what I am doing on my dresser right over here is I'm adding a non-box for I can put the switch in. If you're curious on what a dimmer switch does, it basically dims the light up and down. But make sure you buy the one that is recommended for your LED lights. But alright, let's go ahead and show you what I'm working on and basically kind of explain what's going on and how you should wire it and what you actually should use on any type of wood surface like your dresser or your wall basically. Alright, let's show you the safety things as well, should I say. Alright, before we show you what I'm working on, let's go ahead and explain about my overhead lighting. Basically, this system used to be a halogen system, but now, if you look at it, it has LEDs, and yes, and also a brand new driver. These are very nice LEDs, they are very bright, and I can see what I am working on below my desk. But some of you have complained, get some better lighting. Well, there you go. I kind of converted a old fixture into something new. But let's go ahead and paint them down here over my dresser. But basically you can kind of see what's going on. I have a known electrical box. This is, by the way, metal, not plastic. Okay, and it's, yes, it is mounted to my dresser. I'm not too worried about putting holes in my dresser, okay? But safety, you gotta understand your electrical code. Now, because this is a very light load, I am using 16 gauge wire. I should be using 14 gauge wire for the outlet and switch. But here's the thing. The LEDs pull less wattage than my 80 watt halogen bulbs, and this basically works perfectly fine. Okay, now you can tell how thin this wire is. Okay, very thin. But yes, I do have it bonded with the ground as well. Okay, when you're doing anything with metal, make sure you bond your box with your main ground coming from your source of power or your source of different things. But pretty neat. Don't forget to look up your natural electrical code and make sure you build this by the UL safety code or something if it's being permanently mounted. But remember, this is temporary. Okay, it's not permanently mounted to anything except for my dresser, but it's not mounted to my wall or anything. But basically, if we kind of pan over here we have a dimming switch basically, but this is not the right dimming switch for the LEDs. But yeah, it does fit nicely in here. Of course, you might have to do some modifications for it to fit in this type of case. Basically, here's the wire I'm using. Just basically very thin 16 gauge wire, but you should always use a much heavier gauge wire if you're going to be pulling more amps and wattage out of your light fixture. But remember, these are LEDs. These will pull less wattage than my old halogen lights. But basically, the switch is going to go here. The outlet's going to go on this side. But again, be very careful when you're monkeying around with anything. But basically, you can see how I have it wired. I have my incoming line going to the bottom of the switch and the outgoing line to the outlet. All you're doing is switching the hot. You're not switching the neutral or your ground conductor, should I say. The ground conductor is your chassis ground, or basically keeping you safe from getting injured. Should I say, never use plastic, always use metal when you're doing electrical projects. If you really want to understand electrical, do yourself a favor. Educate yourself on books, or even ask your professional electrician of how many watts and amps a wire can basically take. For example, the 16 gauge wire can only take so much load before you actually fry your cable. This is very light. It's not heavy duty. This is for a very light style circuit, basically. But it all depends on what you want to use it for. Now, if you're going to be using a demo switch for your lights, you cannot use a toaster, a hair dryer, or a heat gun, or a curling iron, or oven type of appliances with that demo switch, because you will actually fry it. But basically, a demo switch just looks like a regular light switch, but it likes to dim. You can dim it up or down to adjust how much you want the light to show. Do you want it little? Do you want it full blast? Or do you just want a very comfort light to see? Now, by the way, this plate is metal. Don't use plastic. Okay? But this is how it's going to look inside your box or your cover plate. Basically, do not cut off all your tabs, but you gotta make sure this will fit perfectly in your electrical box, basically. Now, with my LEDs, they're only point about 9 watts, and I'm very safe to use the 16 gauge wire I'm using. But anything over that, you should use a much higher gauge wire. But the one thing you gotta understand, if this is rated for 1000 watts, don't put 1000 watts of capacity on this demo switch, because you would actually burn it out. I have seen that happen before. But there you go, there's some of my warnings for my fans. If you're going to do electrical, just please educate yourself. Alright, if you guys enjoy this or going to this channel, please hit that subscribe button. Leave an awesome comment down below. Please like, please share. Peace out. We'll hopefully see you in the next vlog. Stay safe.